rises, lives, born from fire, defied gravity, rebuilt, nothing left, unstoppable. Elon Musk begins.
December 2008, disaster loomed. Elon Musk had poured every dollar of his fortune into two audacious startups, SpaceX and Tesla, and both were on the brink of collapse. 3 rocket launches had failed. The 4th would be his last shot before money ran out. Tesla, his electric car venture, was bleeding cash and desperately seeking investors. Musk was so financially strained, he borrowed money for rent. Critics snickered that his dreams of reusable rockets and stylish electric cars were doomed. Yet, in those darkest hours, Elon Musk refused to give up. Little did the world know this low point would become the launchpad for one of the most extraordinary comeback stories in business history. Fast forward to today, SpaceX routinely launches rockets, and Tesla leads a global revolution in electric vehicles. How did Elon Musk go from near bankruptcy to changing the world? This is the inspirational journey of a man who bet it all on bold ideas and won. He was the boy who read science fiction under the covers, the young entrepreneur who made millions in his 20s, and the titan who set out to electrify cars and colonize Mars. Elon Musk's life sounds like a movie. From bullied dreamer to world-changing innovator, we'll see how a kid from South Africa taught himself computer programming at age 12 and sold his first video game for $500. How he went from co-founding an internet startup in his 20s to pocketing a fortune from the sale of PayPal, and how he then risked everything on a series of crazy ideas, building reusable rockets, reinventing the car, and solving gigantic problems in energy and transportation, all at the same time. This story is inspirational with a dash of humor and plenty of drama. You'll witness Musk's visionary thinking, his willingness to break the rules, and a cinematic look at the turning points that defined his path. Buckle up as we explore Elon Musk innovating the future. 1. Context. To understand Musk's impact, picture the world around the turn of the millennium. Space travel was dominated by government agencies with bloated budgets. Sending a rocket to orbit cost hundreds of millions. The idea of a private company doing it cheaper was laughable: electric cars. In the 1990s, they were dismissed as impractical toys. Major car makers had killed off their EV projects, and online payments were clunky and untrusted. Buying something on the internet felt risky. Into this landscape steps Elon Musk, armed with big dreams. He looked at these huge challenges, making humanity multiplanetary, ending our reliance on fossil fuels, and modernizing finance, and saw opportunities. In college, Musk had thought deeply about what would most affect humanity's future. He identified 5 areas: the internet, sustainable energy space, exploration, artificial intelligence, and human genetics. No one would have pegged a 20-something graduate to tackle all of these. But Elon Musk isn't just anyone. He would soon set out to innovate in every one of those arenas, defying the status quo in each industry. In the late 1990s, while most entrepreneurs chased easy.com money, Musk zeroed in on the internet's power to transform society. He believed online finance could be revolutionized. A few years later, when NASA wasn't planning to go to Mars, Musk thought private enterprise might. And when car companies balked at electric vehicles, Musk jumped in to prove EVs could be fast and sexy. His story unfolds at the intersection of these stagnant industries, and his unshakable belief that they could be pushed forward by bold innovation. Early life. Elon Reeve Musk was born on June 28, 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa. From an early age, he was restless and curious. He loved books, science fiction comics, encyclopedias, anything he could get his hands on. He was the quiet, bookish kid lost in daydreams of space and invention. At age 10, Elon discovered computing self-taught from a manual he learned to program on a Commodore VIC-20. By 12, he had created a space-themed video game called Blastar, which he sold to a magazine for $500. It was a small preview of things to come. While other kids were playing games, Elon was creating them and showing early flashes of entrepreneurial spirit. But childhood wasn't all smooth sailing. Musk was bullied badly in school, once even beaten so severely that he blacked out and ended up in the hospital. He often felt lonely and turned to books and computers as an escape. In those pages of science fiction, young Elon found heroes, explorers, inventors, visionaries that sparked his imagination. He devoured the works of Isaac Asimov and The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. From Asimov's Foundation series, he learned about preserving civilization. From Hitchhiker's Guide, he took to heart the phrase, "Don't panic," advice he'd later print on SpaceX's rocket controls as a humorous touch. These influences planted in him a grand vision of the future. Elon's family life was complicated. His parents divorced when he was around 10. He lived with his father for a time, a decision he later regretted due to their troubled relationship. But one gift from his upbringing was exposure to entrepreneurial thinking. His mother, Mae Musk, was a model and dietitian who worked hard to support the family, and his father, despite personal issues, was an engineer. From them, Elon inherited a tenacity and comfort with technical concepts. By his teens, Musk had a clear goal. He wanted to move to America, the land of innovation. "I came to North America because I felt this was where there was opportunity to do great things in technology," Musk later said. At 17, Elon took a leap. He left South Africa in 1988 against his father's wishes to avoid mandatory military service and to seek his fortune in the West. He managed to get Canadian citizenship through his mother's lineage and headed to Canada with a suitcase of clothes and a head full of dreams. After a couple of years at Queen's University in Ontario, he transferred to the University of Pennsylvania in the US, where he earned degrees in economics and physics. Those college years further shaped his worldview. Musk didn't party much. He was more likely to be found in the computer lab or deep in thought about big problems. It was during this time he mused on the 5 critical areas for humanity's future: the internet's sustainable energy space, AI genetics essentially writing the script he would later follow. Classmates recall him as intense and exceptionally driven. He wasn't just trying to get good grades. He was plotting how to change the world. Armed with knowledge and a burning ambition, Elon Musk decided to push aside a comfortable path and embrace uncertainty. In 1995, at age 24, he was accepted to a PhD program at Stanford University in California to study high-energy physics and materials science. That was the plan. For 2 days. Then destiny called. Turning points. Elon walks out of his second day of class, heart pounding with excitement and anxiety. The commercial internet is exploding, and he can practically see the opportunities swirling around him in Silicon Valley. "If I don't do this now, I'll miss it," he thinks to himself. Instead of continuing with the PhD, Elon Musk makes a fateful decision. He drops out of Stanford after just 2 days and jumps headfirst into the internet startup fray. It was a bold move. Some might say reckless. But it wouldn't be the last time Musk chose risk over certainty. Elon's life is marked by pivotal turning points where he bet on himself and his vision. Dropping out of Stanford in 1995 was the first. With his brother Kimball, he founded Zip2, a company that provided online business directories and maps to newspapers. Basically, an early version of Google Maps meets Yelp. This was the era of dial-up modems, and Yahoo and many businesses didn't even have websites. Yet, Musk had to convince newspapers to put city guides online. He reportedly worked day and night coding and sleeping in the office. Zip2 wasn't an overnight success, but Elon's hard work paid off. In 1999, Compaq bought Zip2 for around $307 million netting. 28-year-old Elon, $22 million for his stake. It was his first big win. Suddenly, the kid who once struggled to pay rent had a small fortune. But a pattern emerged. Musk didn't take that money and retire to a beach. He doubled down. In 1999, fresh off the Zip2 sale, he immediately co-founded a new startup X, common online banking and payments company. Musk envisioned a future where money could be moved as easily as email, a revolutionary idea at the time. XCOM later merged with a rival startup called Confinity, and together, they became PayPal. The journey at PayPal had its bumps, but he remained the largest shareholder. By 2002, PayPal had grown into the leading online payment system, and eBay acquired it for $1.5 billion. Elon Musk's share was about $165 million. In the span of 7 years, Musk had gone from a grad school dropout to a multimillionaire with 2 successful exits under his belt. Each venture had taught him valuable lessons about starting companies, managing growth, and pushing through skeptics' doubts. Now came a critical turning point in Musk's story: what to do with this newfound wealth. At age 31, Elon Musk could easily have decided to become a venture capitalist or live a life of comfort. Instead, he looked back at the list of big problems he'd been pondering since college and decided to tackle the hardest ones. I didn't want to squander the money, I thought. This is my chance to build something that matters. With $165+ million burning a hole in his pocket, Musk set out to pursue his grand visions, making space travel affordable and accelerating the transition to sustainable energy. These were colossal challenges that most found far-fetched for a private entrepreneur. It's often said that the easiest way to make a small fortune in the space industry is to start with a large one and spend a lot. Musk was well aware of the joke, and he was ready to risk his large fortune to prove it wrong. I can't shake this feeling. We have to become a multi-planetary species. And we can't wait for NASA. I'll do it myself. And those electric cars. Someone has to show the world they can work. Why not me? In that moment, Musk commits the ultimate gamble. He will launch a rocket company and an electric car company, almost simultaneously investing the bulk of his PayPal fortune to do so. It's a step so bold that many friends and colleagues thought he had lost his mind. Thus, in 2002, Musk founded SpaceX, Space Exploration Technologies Corp., driven by his childhood dream of space and the specific goal of making Mars colonization possible in our lifetime. A year later, in 2003, a small group of engineers in Silicon Valley founded Tesla Motors. By early 2004, Musk joined them as an investor and chairman, eventually leading the company. These decisions marked a new chapter in Elon's life, one defined by high-risk, high-innovation, and relentless pursuit of seemingly impossible goals. Another turning point came a few years later in 2008, a year Musk would call the worst year of my life. Everything hung by a thread. SpaceX had tried and failed 3 times to reach orbit with its Falcon 1 rocket. Tesla had repeatedly delayed its first car, the Roadster, and was nearly out of cash. Musk was going through personal turmoil as well. By fall 2008, Elon faced the very real prospect that both of his big ventures would crash and burn. This is the scene we touched on in the opening hook: Elon Musk scraping together his last dollars to fund one more rocket launch and working furiously to secure investors for Tesla before time ran out. On September 28, 2008, at a small Pacific Island launch site, SpaceX prepared for the 4th launch of Falcon 1. Musk and his team knew it was do or die, literally the company's last chance. This time, the rocket roared into the sky and finally reached orbit, marking the first ever privately developed liquid fuel rocket. To do so, elation only weeks later in a Hollywood-worthy twist of fate. NASA awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract to deliver cargo to the International Space Station, essentially saving SpaceX. Around the same time on Christmas Eve 2008, Musk convinced investors to bankroll Tesla's survival, closing a funding round hours before the company would have gone bankrupt. That was a close call, he later joked with understatement. In truth, the stress was nearly unbearable. I remember waking up the Sunday before Christmas in 2008 and thinking I might have a nervous breakdown. It was pretty dark, Musk recalled of that period. But by the slimmest of margins, he persevered. These turning points, dropping out to start Zip2 selling PayPal and doubling down on rockets and cars and surviving 2008's crucible, forged Musk's legend. They illustrate a pattern when faced with a fork in the road. Elon consistently chooses the path of greater risk and greater potential impact. Now let's delve deeper into his major ventures and see how his mindset shaped each of them. Major ventures. PayPal revolutionizing online payments. Before PayPal Mafia became a buzzword and online shopping became routine, Elon Musk was already chasing innovation in digital payments. After Zip2, Musk's next venture XCOM aimed to transform how money moves on the internet, banks thought he was crazy. Consumers were wary of online transactions. But Musk saw that payments were ripe for disruption in the internet age. XCOM launched in 1999 as one of the first online banks offering features like email money transfers. It was a bit ahead of its time. Growth was slow, and there was fierce competition, notably from Confinity, which had a product called PayPal. In 2000, XCOM and Confinity merged, pooling resources under the name PayPal. Musk served as CEO for a while and pushed for aggressive growth. The combined company made it easy to send money by email and became the preferred payment method on eBay. Under its new name, PayPal truly revolutionized online payments, making them faster and more secure. In October 2002, eBay acquired PayPal for $1.5 billion, validating Musk's vision. Elon, as the largest shareholder, walked away with approximately $180 million. At just 31 years old, he was wealthy beyond imagination. But more importantly, PayPal had proven that digital finance could work, a concrete example of Elon's knack for anticipating the future. The experience also taught Musk about scaling a tech company and dealing with rapid change. Musk could have rested on his laurels after PayPal, but as we know, he didn't. He often jokes, "You know, I'm not an investor. I'd rather invest in creating new things." So he took that PayPal money and plowed it into his next missions. Tesla accelerating sustainable energy. If SpaceX was born from Musk's childhood dream of space, Tesla was born from his passion for the environment and innovation in energy. Musk didn't actually start Tesla Motors, but he joined very early as an investor, then chairman, and soon effectively led the company. Why electric cars? Musk has long been concerned about climate change and the need to replace fossil fuels. In college, he thought a lot about sustainable energy and how technology could reduce humanity's reliance on oil. Tesla was the perfect vehicle, pun intended, to advance that mission. When Tesla began, electric vehicles had a lousy reputation: slow, ugly, with tiny range. Musk and Tesla's co-founders wanted to smash that stereotype. Their plans start with a high-performance sports car to show EVs can be cool, then use that momentum to build more affordable models. The result was the Tesla Roadster, launched in 2008. It was basically a Lotus sports car chassis, packed with lithium-ion batteries and a sleek electric drivetrain. The Roadster could go 0 to 60 mph in under 4 seconds and drive over 200 miles on a charge, unheard of for an EV at the time. It turned heads in the auto industry. Musk, as Tesla's product architect, pushed the team hard to achieve eye-popping performance. The Roadster wasn't perfect. It was expensive and had some early glitches, but it proved the point. electric cars could be sexy, fast, and viable. Then came the real game changer, the Tesla Model S sedan unveiled in 2012. With Model S, Tesla established itself as a serious automaker. The car won awards. Motor Trend's Car of the Year, a near-perfect score from Consumer Reports. And it made gasoline engines suddenly feel antiquated. Musk's strategy was vindicated. Over the next years, Tesla rolled out the Model X SUV, the more affordable Model 3 and Model Y crossover, along with advances in battery tech and self-driving software. Musk's insistence on innovation at every level, from battery chemistry to over-the-air software updates, gave Tesla a lead that traditional car companies struggled to catch up to. He also took big risks, building a massive gigafactory for batteries in Nevada and investing in a global network of supercharger stations, so electric car owners could drive long distances. These were not just car company moves. They were system-level solutions to support an electric future. Of course, Tesla's journey had drama. In 2008, during the financial crisis, Tesla almost died. Musk recounts cutting personal checks to make payroll. But by relentless hustle, Tesla secured enough investment to survive. Musk famously slept on the factory floor during intense production ramps, showing his team he was there in the trenches with them. "I was working 100-hour weeks and sleeping in the factory, so the team knew I was pulling my weight," he said. This all-hands-on-deck ethos helped Tesla overcome production hell for the Model 3 in 2017 to 2018 as well. By the mid-2010s, Tesla had not only survived, but started to thrive, spurring the entire auto industry toward electrification. As of today, Tesla has sold millions of EVs worldwide and is a driving force in pushing renewable energy. Tesla's market value skyrocketed at one point, making Musk the richest person on the planet. But for Elon, the wealth is a side effect. The true success is that Tesla accelerated the transition to sustainable energy. What was once a niche idea, electric cars, is now the future of the auto industry. Thanks in large part to Tesla's influence, and Musk isn't done. Tesla is working on futuristic projects like the Cybertruck new battery technologies and autonomous driving software. Under his leadership, Tesla continues to push boundaries, embodying Musk's belief that innovating at the system-level cars, charging energy storage altogether, is key to solving big problems. SpaceX reaching for Mars. Perhaps the venture closest to Musk's heart is SpaceX, the rocket company he founded in 2002, when he was just 30. The genesis of SpaceX is the stuff of legend. After PayPal, Musk wanted to do something to spur space exploration. He was dismayed that NASA had no clear plans to go to Mars. So Musk initially tried to buy a cheap Russian rocket to send a small experimental greenhouse to Mars, an attempt to inspire the world to dream again about space. But when the Russians offered rockets at absurd prices, Musk walked away and famously said, "I think we can build a rocket ourselves." It sounds naive, but Musk ran the numbers and used his physics background. The raw materials for a rocket were only a fraction of the finished cost. Rockets were so expensive mainly due to inefficient traditional aerospace processes. This was a classic Musk approach, first principles thinking, breaking a problem down to fundamental costs and physics and reasoning from there. If he could build rockets cheaper and make them reusable, it would revolutionize space travel. SpaceX started with a small team in a dusty warehouse in El Segundo, California. Musk often served as chief engineer. He learned rocket science by voraciously reading textbooks and recruiting talented engineers. Early on, many in the industry laughed at SpaceX. Aerospace is hard. Newcomers usually fail. Musk himself gave SpaceX odds of success at only 10% in the beginning. But he persisted. They developed Falcon 1, a two-stage rocket designed to lift small satellites. As mentioned earlier, the first 3 Falcon 1 launches, 2006-2008, failed. Musk and his team were devastated each time, but they analyzed the failures and improved the design. On the fourth try, Falcon 1 reached orbit in September 2008, making SpaceX the first private company to orbit Earth with a liquid-fueled rocket. That achievement, coming at the 11th hour, validated SpaceX's approach and Musk's faith. From there, SpaceX gained momentum. NASA's cargo contract provided crucial funding and legitimacy. Musk's vision was always bigger than just small rockets. He wanted to compete with the biggest launchers out there and lower the cost of access to space by a factor of 10. So SpaceX built the Falcon 9, a far larger rocket, and a spacecraft called Dragon to carry cargo and eventually crew. In 2012, a SpaceX Falcon 9 launched a Dragon capsule that docked with the International Space Station, the first time a private company had ever done so. It was historic, the start of a new era of commercial spaceflight. But perhaps SpaceX's most breathtaking innovation was mastering reusability. Musk often quipped, "Launching rockets is the only time you build a $60 million vehicle and throw it away each flight." Imagine if airplanes were thrown away after one use. Tickets would be really expensive. He was determined to land and reuse rockets. Many said it was impossible or uneconomical. Yet in December 2015, a SpaceX Falcon 9 first stage came back from space and landed vertically at Cape Canaveral, like a scene out of science fiction. Shortly after, they refined landings on ocean drone ships with whimsical names like, "Of Course, I Still Love You." By reusing boosters, SpaceX slashed launch costs. Today, some Falcon 9 boosters have flown 10+ times. This reusability is a game changer that Musk pressed for over the objections of skeptics. It has made SpaceX the dominant player in the global launch market, delivering satellites, science missions, and even astronauts for NASA. SpaceX's achievements pile up. In 2015, they began deploying Starlink, a constellation of thousands of small satellites, to provide global internet coverage, an effort to bring connectivity worldwide, which as of 2025 is providing service to remote areas and even war-torn regions. In 2018, SpaceX's Falcon Heavy, the most powerful rocket since the Saturn V, had its maiden flight, dramatically sending Elon's personal red Tesla Roadster with a mannequin dubbed Starman into deep space as a test payload. It was perhaps the ultimate cross-promotion of Musk's ventures, and a symbolic statement. He literally launched a car to space because he could. Through SpaceX, Musk has reignited public excitement in space travel. He talks openly about plans to send humans to Mars in the coming decade via SpaceX's next giant rocket Starship, a fully reusable spacecraft currently in development, aiming to carry massive payloads and people to the Moon and Mars. SpaceX has had test flights of Starship, some ending in spectacular explosions, to which Musk shrugged. "We learned a lot for the next attempt." That captures the SpaceX ethos. Fail fast, learn fast, and keep iterating. Musk encourages this experimental culture. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you're not innovating enough. He famously said, "It's a mindset quite opposite to traditional rocket programs, and it's enabled SpaceX to advance at breakneck speed." Musk's ultimate vision for SpaceX is to make life multiplanetary, starting with a self-sustaining city on Mars. It sounds like science fiction, but he approaches it with engineering rigor and an infectious enthusiasm. "I would like to die on Mars." Musk quips, "just not on impact." Underlying that joke is a real drive. Musk has oriented SpaceX's entire strategy toward the Mars goal, figuring that enabling humanity's expansion into space is one of the most important contributions he can make. As of 2025, SpaceX has made space cheaper and more accessible than ever imagined. Its legacy might one day include humans setting foot on Mars. If and when that happens, it will be in no small part because Elon Musk dared to ask, "Why not?" when everyone else said, "That's crazy." other ventures, Solar City, Neuralink, and more. As if revolutionizing two industries wasn't enough, a SpaceX Falcon 9 launched a Dragon capsule that docked with the International Space Station, the first time a private company had ever done so. It was historic, the start of a new era of commercial spaceflight. But perhaps SpaceX's most breathtaking was mastering reusability. Musk often quipped, "Launching rockets is the only time you build a $60 million vehicle and throw it away each flight." Imagine if airplanes were thrown away after one use. Tickets would be really expensive. He was determined to land and reuse rockets. Many said it was impossible or uneconomical. Yet in December 2015, Falcon 9 first stage came back from space and landed vertically at Cape Canaveral, like a scene out of science fiction. Shortly after, they refined landings on ocean drone ships with whimsical names like, "Of course, I still love you." By reusing boosters, SpaceX slashed launch costs. Today, some Falcon 9 boosters have flown 10+ times. This reusability is a game changer that Musk pressed for over the objections of skeptics. It has made SpaceX the dominant global launch market, delivering satellites, science missions, and even astronauts for NASA. SpaceX's achievements pile up. In 2015, they began deploying Starlink, a constellation of thousands of small satellites, to provide global internet coverage, an effort to bring connectivity worldwide, which as of 2025 is providing service to remote areas and even regions. In 2018, SpaceX's Falcon Heavy, the most powerful rocket since the Saturn V, had its maiden flight, dramatically sending Elon's personal red Tesla Roadster with a mannequin dubbed Starman into deep space as a test payload. It was perhaps the ultimate cross-promotion of Musk's ventures, and a symbolic statement. He literally launched a car to space because he could. Through SpaceX, Musk has reignited public excitement. He talks openly about plans to send humans to Mars in the coming decade via SpaceX's next giant rocket Starship, a fully reusable spacecraft currently in development aiming to carry massive payloads and people to the Moon and Mars. SpaceX has had test flights of Starship, some ending in spectacular explosions, to which Musk shrugged. "We learned a lot for the next attempt." That captures the SpaceX ethos. Fail fast, learn fast, and keep iterating. Musk encourages this experimental culture. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you're not innovating enough. He famously said, "It's a mindset quite opposite to traditional rocket programs, and it's enabled SpaceX to advance at breakneck speed." Musk's ultimate vision for SpaceX is to make life multiplanetary, starting with a self-sustaining city on Mars. Sounds like science fiction, but he approaches it with engineering rigor and an infectious enthusiasm. "I would like to die on Mars." Musk quips, "just not on impact." Underlying that joke is a real drive. Musk has oriented SpaceX's entire strategy toward the Mars goal, figuring that enabling humanity's expansion into space is one of the most important contributions he can make. As of 2025, SpaceX has made space cheaper and more accessible than ever. A legacy might one day include humans setting foot on Mars. If and when that happens, it will be in no small part because across all these ventures, a common thread is evident. Elon Musk focuses on big-picture systems level innovation. Whether it's connecting solar power to electric cars, linking brains to AI, or integrating tunnels with car transport, he's always thinking about how to solve problems on a broad scale. Few entrepreneurs have ever operated in such diverse fields simultaneously. Musk might be reviewing rocket engine designs in the morning, brainstorming car software by afternoon, and discussing neuron electrodes by evening. It's a dizzying pace, but he thrives on it. His role in each company varies some. He leads directly others. He guides or funds. Yet his influence, the push for bold solutions and rapid execution, is imprinted on all of them. Many said it was uneconomical. Yet in December 2015, a SpaceX Falcon 9 first stage came back from space and landed vertically at Cape Canaveral, like a scene out of science fiction. Shortly after, they refined landings on ocean drone ships with whimsical names like, "Of course, I still love you." By reusing boosters, SpaceX slashed launch costs. Today, some Falcon 9 boosters have flown 10+ times. This reusability is a game changer that Musk pressed for over the objections of skeptics. It has made SpaceX the dominant player in the global launch market, delivering missions and even astronauts for NASA. SpaceX's achievements pile up. In 2015, they began deploying Starlink, a constellation of thousands of small satellites, to provide global internet coverage, an effort to bring connectivity worldwide, which as of 2025 is providing service to remote areas and even war-torn regions. In 2018, SpaceX's Falcon Heavy, powerful rocket since the Saturn V, had its maiden flight, dramatically sending Elon's personal red Tesla Roadster with a mannequin dubbed Starman into deep space as a test payload. It was perhaps the ultimate cross-promotion of Musk's ventures, and a symbolic statement. He literally launched a car to space because he could. Through SpaceX, Musk has reignited public excitement in space travel. He talks openly about plans to send humans to Mars in the coming decade via SpaceX's next giant rocket Starship spacecraft, currently in development, aiming to carry massive payloads and people to the Moon and Mars. SpaceX has had test flights of Starship, some ending in spectacular explosions, to which Musk shrugged. "We learned a lot for the next attempt." That captures the SpaceX ethos: fail fast, learn fast, and keep iterating. Musk encourages this experimental culture. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you're not innovating enough or complexity. He is a human being with flaws. He drove his teams hard and could be harsh on colleagues. He admits he needed to mellow out over time. He missed certain trends. For example, Microsoft failed to dominate the smartphone revolution, something Gates later called his greatest mistake. But in the grand tally of things, Bill Gates has used his time and fortune in a way few others ever have, relentlessly directed at making an impact. Is a real drive. As we look to the future, Gates is still very much active. He's not coding in a garage anymore, but you can find him touring a clean energy startups lab or talking with school children about computers or briefing lawmakers on pandemic preparedness. He has stepped back from the company he built, entrusting a new generation of tech leaders. But he hasn't stepped back from thinking big. It will be in no small part because Elon Musk, if anything freed from business duties, he thinks bigger than ever about the fate of the planet, the trajectory of innovation, the promise of AI, which he calls as fundamental as the PC and internet were, and the necessity of global cooperation. Few entrepreneurs have ever operated in such diverse fields simultaneously. Musk might be reviewing rocket engine designs in the morning, conclusion, coding a lasting legacy, neuron electrodes by evening. It's a dizzying pace, but he thrives on it. His role in each company varies some. He leads directly others. He guides or funds. Yet his influence, the push for bold solutions and rapid execution, is imprinted on all of them. Many said it was impossible or uneconomical. Yet in December, Bill Gates often says he's an optimist, and that optimism is rooted in history. He's seen how far and fast progress can happen when brilliant minds and resources converge on hard problems. From a scrappy teenager writing code in an interview, Gates once reflected, "I've been very lucky, and I feel a responsibility to make the most of that luck, to give back, to take on the big fights. Not everyone will agree on the methods, but few can dispute the scale of his impact." He imagined a world with a computer on every desk, and we live in that world. He has always looked ahead to the next goal, the next innovation. In 2015, they began deploying Starlink, a constellation of thousands of small satellites, to provide global internet coverage, an effort to bring connectivity worldwide, which as of 2025 is providing service to remote areas and even war-torn regions. In 2018, SpaceX's Falcon Heavy, the most powerful rockets, as the sun sets on this chapter of technological revolution and rises on a new era of challenges, Gates's legacy lights a path forward. It's a legacy that teaches us to think big, act boldly, and care deeply about the world. Whether you're an entrepreneur dreaming up a startup in a garage, or a scientist in a lab, or a student with a head full of ideas, Gates's story encourages you to believe that a crazy vision. It reminds us that being brilliant is great, but being ethical and generous amplifies brilliance into something that benefits all of humanity. Carry massive payloads and people to the moon and Mars. SpaceX has had test flights of Starship, some ending in spectacular explosions, to which Musk shrugged. We learned a lot. In the end, Bill Gates coding a... The future is a code yet to be written, and as Bill Gates has shown us, we are all potential coders of the legacy we leave behind. Failure is... Think big and bold. Musk famously chooses audacious goals. Whether it's colonizing Mars or transitioning the world to electric cars, he thinks on a grand scale. One lesson is to identify problems that really matter. Musk once said, "I didn't go into the aerospace or automotive industries just to compete. I did it to drive fundamental change." His example encourages us to have a vision that's bigger than yourself. Big dreams inspire not only you, but also those around you. Risk-taking and perseverance. Few are as willing to risk it all as Musk. He put his entire PayPal fortune on the line to fund Tesla and SpaceX. That takes guts. Musk's life teaches that meaningful success often requires great risk. Crucially, when facing failure, he exhibits extreme perseverance. Rocket exploded. Try again. Company on verge of bankruptcy. Find a solution, work 20-hour days. Sleep on the factory floor. Do whatever. His mantra could be, never give up unless there's no other choice. In Musk's words, if something is important enough, you should still do it, even if the odds are not in your favor. His career is a case study in grit, the ability to press on despite setbacks. Embrace failure as a learning tool. Musk doesn't fear failure. He expects it as part of innovation. At SpaceX, explosions and failed tests aren't seen as disasters, but as data-gathering steps. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. Musk says, this lesson is about cultivating a mindset where you iterate quickly and learn from mistakes, rather than avoiding failure at all costs. Embrace a culture of continuous improvement. This approach has allowed Musk's teams to achieve technical breakthroughs faster than more cautious competitors. First principles thinking. A hallmark of Musk's problem solving is to go back to fundamentals. Instead of reasoning by analogy, he breaks problems down to basic truths of physics or economics and builds up from there. For example, why were rockets expensive? Musk calculated material costs and realized the markup was huge. So, SpaceX engineered from scratch? Why can't electric cars work? Musk examined battery energy density trends and realized a well-designed lithium-ion pack could make an EV viable. By questioning assumptions and tackling problems at the root level, he often finds innovative solutions that experts overlooked. The lesson: challenge conventional wisdom and do your own analysis from basic principles. Work hard and be intensely hands-on. Elon Musk is known for his extraordinary work ethic. 80 to 100-hour work weeks, during crunch times personally reviewing designs and staying deeply involved in technical details. As a leader, he leads by example. During Tesla's Model 3 ramp, he literally slept at the factory to help solve production issues. This isn't to glorify burnout culture, but it shows that Musk puts his money where his mouth is in terms of effort. He once said, "No one ever changed the world on 40 hours a week." The takeaway: extreme dedication can set the tone for your organization. Musk's hands-on approach also means the leader should deeply understand their product. He famously could answer the most granular engineering questions about SpaceX's Merlin engines or Tesla's battery chemistry. Knowing the details gave him credibility with his teams and often the ability to push the boundaries of what was possible. Lifelong learning and adaptability. Musk has shown an ability to teach himself complex subjects, from rocket science to solar technology, by reading, asking experts, and diving in. He effectively got a self-taught crash course, equivalent to a degree. The lesson is the importance of continuous learning. Musk exemplifies that if you have enough curiosity and drive, you can acquire the knowledge needed to break into new fields. He also adapts. When one approach fails, he's quick to pivot to another. In a rapidly changing world, the capacity to learn fast and adapt is invaluable. Mission-driven motivation. Musk's companies are united by a mission, be it accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy or make humanity multiplanetary. Having a clear and meaningful mission has been key to attracting top talent and keeping teams motivated through tough times. Employees often say they work for Musk, not just because it's a job, but because they believe in what the company is trying to achieve. The lesson here is to define the why of your endeavor. A strong mission can act as a North Star guiding decisions and fueling persistence. Musk himself is deeply motivated by his missions, not by money. This authenticity galvanizes those around him. Integrate humor and positivity. While Elon Musk is intensely serious about his goals, he also brings a sense of playfulness. He gives quirky names to drone ships, sells not a flamethrower for fun, and makes nerdy jokes about anime or memes on Twitter. This shows that innovation doesn't have to be dry. A bit of humor can keep teams loosened up, and creative Musk's willingness to be a bit irreverent and not always overly corporate has built a personal brand that humanizes him. The lesson: be yourself and keep some joy in the process. Big challenges are marathons, not sprints. Maintaining a spirit of fun can help sustain morale. Not everyone can be Elon Musk. And indeed, his path isn't one many would envy in terms of the stress and workload involved. But these lessons from his journey can inspire us in our own pursuits, whether they're in technology, business, or personal goals. Dream big, work hard, learn constantly. Don't fear failure. And perhaps the most Musk-like lesson of all, dare to innovate for the betterment of humanity. When you align your passion with a greater purpose, you create an unstoppable force. Conclusion. The story of Elon Musk is still being written, but it already reads like a thrilling epic. A tale of vision, risk, failure, triumph, and innovation. Musk has shown us what is possible when one refuses to accept the ordinary and instead strives for the extraordinary. He took on gigantic industries and succeeded not through magic, but through relentless effort, clever engineering, and an unwavering belief that even the toughest problems can be solved. Today, Musk stands at the helm of companies that are literally shaping the future. From how we commute, to how we power our homes, to what frontiers we might explore beyond Earth. He's the man who helped democratize online payments, built rockets that land themselves, popularized electric cars, and who dreams of a city on Mars. He has his share of detractors and faces, new challenges as his profile grows. But love him or criticize him, Musk has unquestionably propelled industries forward in a way few have. Elon Musk's journey teaches us that innovation requires courage. The courage to imagine a better future, and the courage to act to make it real. It reminds us that setbacks and skeptics are merely stepping stones on the path to making the impossible possible. From sleeping under his desk as a young startup founder to celebrating a rocket landing on a barge in the ocean, Musk exemplifies the power of dreaming big and working tirelessly to fulfill those dreams. As we conclude Elon Musk innovating the future, consider the mindset that drives this singular entrepreneur. It's not about seeking fame or fortune. Those came as byproducts. It's about a deep, almost stubborn conviction that technology can solve hard problems and push humanity forward. Musk once said, "I want to be involved in things that change the world." With each venture, he has aimed to do exactly that, and in doing so, he has inspired millions to believe that they too can reach for the stars, or at least build a life and career of meaningful impact. Elon Musk's story is far from over. Whether it's establishing a base on Mars, delivering a globally connected internet, or unveiling a world-changing AI, you can be sure he's working on the next big chapter. As we watch it unfold, one thing is clear: his journey so far is a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. It challenges us to ask of ourselves, are we dreaming big enough? And it leaves us with a sense of optimism that indeed the future is something we can shape with enough audacity and hard work. Thank you for watching. Let Elon Musk's example remind us that even the loftiest goals are within reach, if we are willing to innovate, persevere, and dare greatly. In our own ways, big or small, we too can be architects of the future.